So this is it. You finally hit level 30 in FlyFF. You're the maximum level allowed for the cool new dungeon content added for low levels specifically, so it should be super easy, right? Huh, that's weird. You have 15,000 health. Oh, that's weird too. My health bar is disappearing. Everything in here hates me. When do I get the good loot? Oh my god, I gotta kill all these monsters? I could barely kill one! Wait, I have to do this in an hour? Oh, fuck. No. Oh my god! So for real, let's talk about level 30. One of FlyFF's largest setbacks for new players was a severe lack of content. The game's quests were rudimentary, and pretty much the only thing you could do is click monsters to start auto combat. But FlyFF was still lacking anything to keep new players interested in the gameplay, so they eventually did add their own take on a party quest. You could complete a quest in Flaris that would give you a permanent key item to allow you, and other players who didn't have the item, to fight one of 3 bosses depending on your level range. But there were no unique drops, XP was worse than grinding, and only one party could enter this at a time for the entire server. So this content did not take off at all. However, it did make it to FlyFF Universe with some slight tweaks. Once you've completed the required quest, you can engage with Big Muscle on easy mode at the cost of most of your drop rate. What the heck? The next day, you can try medium mode, and the day after that, you can get full drop rates on hard mode. I gotta say, I really hate this daily limit stuff for fun contents. MMOs love doing this. Not only are you asking players to stop leveling up, but to also wait a day before you can attempt to get more loot? I don't get it, especially this game. The game already has a very punishing way to prevent over-leveled players from farming loot, with, the decreased drop rate formulas that they use. Completely denying entry past level 31 just kind of seems cruel. So, because of the time limits, and the level limits, and just how insanely hard Leren, Chasm, and Big Muscle on hard mode can be, both forms of content remain untouched. Players just continue to grind monsters to progress. So why would an Iron Man have interest in these? Well, power dice. Power dice are the main method for upgrading gear in FlyFF. I'm going to need a lot of upgrades to overcome some of the challenges ahead on the road to killing Clockworks. And even though I'm a really low level right now, I can still farm the same upgrade materials that will be required later. The problem is just getting the gear upgrades also kind of requires gear upgrades because everything is way too hard. Okay. The amount of damage you need to deal and the defensive stats required is just insane. So the next steps are to acquire the absolute best gear possible at level 30, starting with a weapon. Luckily, everyone's guaranteed a really good level 30 weapon from Luda's quest in Flaris. It only takes about 30 minutes of flying back and forth, too. Oh, got it. Man, this quest is hard. Everything here hits so hard. Everything's aggro. You can never just hit the leader on his own. This quest's tough, man. Especially when you don't have any stamina. I'm always like one hit away from death. Sweet, got the Entinel box. You don't even have to finish the whole quest line. You can just get your weapon and stop if you want. And that is what I'm going to do. Mostly because I want to make sure when I'm done with all of this staying level 30 crap, I will still have some easy XP to pick up in the form of quests like this one. So the Entinel box, you get to pick all kinds of different weapons in it. If you're a mercenary like me, you're just going to want either the sword or the axe. And, look man, I'm just going to say, specifically for this weapon choice, there is literally just a 4 attack difference between the sword and the axe. So, I think you should pick the sword pretty much every single time. The only exception is if you're in your skill list, if you already put points into things like Smite Axe and Axe Mastery, you definitely want the Entinel Axe. But if that's not the case, like for me, I haven't been taking these skills, I know it's going to upset some of you, because these are like traditionally some of the best skills you can use at this level, but you'll see why I'm not using these later. But I am going to take the sword. It's going to be a huge, absolutely huge damage upgrade. Actually, I want to show that off real quick. What better place to show off DPS would there be than Mars Mine, of course? I mentioned this one in the last episode, but I am fairly convinced that Mars Mine has much better drop rates than the game is willing to tell you in places like FlyFFpedia, the official drop rate database. I'm going to be farming here for a while, mostly because I still need a shield upgrade as well. I have a turtle shield right now for level 20. I'm going to look for, I think it's a level 29 shield. It's got about 30 more defense on it, and I'm going to need everything I can get. So I'm going to be looking for that down here. There are actually some other really good drops that can come of these as well. They're just so extremely rare, I'm not really going to be banking on finding them. They'd just be like an added bonus, basically. There are only 5 of these in the whole game. This level 30 monster right here, it's much stronger than your average level 30 monster, but there are 5 of them here for you to farm, if you wish to do so. And I always thought this was a really weird design choice as well, just putting only 5 of one mob in the game. Their drop tables look fairly normal, like they look like everything else that would be level 30 again, but that's also what I'm here to test, because I don't really believe that. While I'm fighting these and looking for my shield, I'm going to be documenting all the drops I get. Maybe not like Pena and food, but every time there's equipment that drops, every time something special drops, I'm going to make sure I write it all down, because I want to compare that to some of the other monsters that I'll be fighting later. Now we can finally get to the bottom of whether or not the drops really are extra, or if there's something special about them, or if FlyFFpedia is correct and it's all the exact same. So rather than compare these weapons with basic attacks, I'm going to show the difference with skill damage. Because swords swing so much faster than axes, the damage is going to be way higher when using basic attacks on a sword compared to an axe. That is really good for me, but because I'm using a skill-based build, it's not as important right now what my auto-attack DPS is. Speaking of skills though, I am level 30, so it is finally time. I have access to a brand new mercenary skill called Special Hit. Thrilling name, I know. So throughout FlyFF's history, mercenaries have been known for either 2 great things: single target DPS with dual wielding at level 60, or the ability to become a super tank at level 60 and you unlock AoE abilities for fast level ups into late game. The latter option is known as the Knight class, and they would become so popular for their AoE ability that users would completely abandon their early game DPS in favor of a build that only uses the stamina stat. This build would max out their HP and defense so they could pull as many monsters as they want and AoE them all down for some crazy XP rates later. The problem with this build, and perhaps even the problem with the whole game at the time, is that stat points were permanent, and you would need to endure level 15 through 60 while having 0 points in strength to do this, meaning you do absolutely no damage. Unless, of course, you're willing to spend real money on the game, then you can buy yourself a stat change premium item at level 60. It was a very unfun way to play the game. It caused many players to quit before they could strike it big at level 65 when they unlocked their first AoE skill. FlyFF Universe addressed this in 2 ways. Firstly, your stats now are reset at level 60, just like they are at level 15. So if you want to go pure strength for the early game, you can, and then you can change later to a tank build at 60. That still leaves level 60 through 65, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but it's so much better than it was before. Secondly, mercenaries now have access to their first AoE ability at level 30, and that's what Special Hit is. If you want to roll tank for your friends, you can now be useful outside of bossing once you hit level 30 as long as you're willing to spend the 76 skill points required to max out this skill. So let's go ahead and see what the difference is in damage between my old weapon, the Turing Axe, versus an Entinel Sword. We'll start with the axe. Look at that. It's just so good. It's basically double the damage of a blindside, and it doesn't even need to... I don't need to precede it with slash. I can just cast the really good skill and keep going with the really good skill only. But that was just with the Turing Axe. When I whip out the Entinel, let's see. Boom! 1240 per skill. Let's see if we can do all 5. Oh, what the fuck? It's close. It's way too close. No! Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. I think I could do it. I honestly think I could get there. And you know what it's going to require, though? I'm going to need... Dude, I think I need elemental advantage against these. Level 30 is really the perfect time to start getting into elemental upgrades. You get a Reonin quest, the main quest line, from the mayor here. He just wants you to go collect a hobo sword from hobos in St. Morning. He gives you an elemental card box for that, which I believe has one of every... I'm sorry, it has 5. It has 5 of each card, besides, like, piercing. Yeah, here we go. Elemental card box. 5 of every card that upgrades from 1 to 5 for element. So not piercing cards, but just the elemental upgrades. It's all in here. The level 30 Vice monsters I've been fighting are water element, it looks like. So I'm going to need to apply electricity to my armor. I could also do weapon, but I feel like it's a little overkill right now, and because farming this stuff is so time consuming, I think I'm just gonna put some electric element on my suit and see where it goes from there. But it's not as simple as just clicking the card and then clicking the suit to upgrade. There's a new system in place. You need additional materials to upgrade your gear this way. You can't just use the cards themselves. So if you want to put electric element on something, you are actually instead going to need, let's see here, minerals and Krasic. Krasic you can get here in St. Morning, but minerals are going to be a huge pain in the butt. First, you need to get over to the general store, and you need to purchase a collector. I think I'm just going to go ahead and drop 100k on the V3 collector. And then you need to fly to any of the main islands where the material you need spawns. For Krasic, that is St. Morning, so I'm going to fly around real quick until I can find a Krasic catcher. You guys might have already seen these things just like in the background of when I'm recording. They are everywhere, they're hard to miss, and they're giant. There's one right now. These guys are new. These were not in the original game, they're new to FlyFF Universe, and honestly, just I hate them. I think they're an awful addition to the game, but here's what you do. Once you find one, they've got 100,000 HP, they're level 15. They don't actually fight back. They're just these big ol' damage sponges. You just have to get its HP all the way to 0, equip your collector, and suck up the body. That's it. It's not anything complicated. It's just a few extra annoying steps to complicate your elemental upgrade process. Okay, the beast falls. That takes way too long for a level 30 character. But then once it's done, you just suck it up, and you'll slowly start collecting whatever. This is a Krasic catcher, so I get Krasic from it. You don't get a whole lot either, especially if you're using a bad collector like I am. So to get something to +3, you're going to need about, I think it's 44 of the material you're looking for. But that's only if none of the upgrade cards fail. I'm going to get like 64 just to be safe. Okay, finally. Dude, I've got like all the patience in the world for leveling up with really bad damage. Flying around at 3 miles per hour. I can handle all that, but these catchers, man. I hate them. Oh, all done. Now I've just got to go get the minerals. It's finally over. Thank goodness. I can finally just upgrade my suit. Okay. Alright. The electric suit, or the rail suit, now has electric +3 element on it, which means I'll take less damage from water monsters. But let's go see if it's actually enough to tank 5 at once. Here goes nothing. I think that's doable. I think we have it. Man, where are my drops, though? So I realized a couple silly things. Firstly, I don't actually have enough HP to tank 5 of those. I've got 1700 here. It looks like I'll only need 1500 to tank 5 hits exactly. But the only reason I have 1700 health is because there's an event right now that's giving me an extra 20% HP. I could just die at any moment if the weather changes, which would not be cool. So, instead of farm the Vice monsters for a shield with about 10 more defense... Oh, and by the way, apparently there was just a shield in the store I could buy with a little less than what I'm farming out right now, so... It's probably not worth it to grind out these Vice for just another 10 defense on a shield, so I might as well skip to the next part of the plan. This is where things start looking really unfair. To clear Leren Chasm, I need better gear. But I can't level past 30, or else I won't be able to enter Leren Chasm on easy difficulty. And if I can't go in on easy, I really will not be able to clear it. FlyFF's gear progression, though, is frankly terrible. When you fight level 30 monsters like those Vice before, you do not get level 30 gear. You get level 25 gear. If you want level 30 gear, you've got to fight level 35s or higher, like Captain Dumble. These guys are at least the water element, so my new suit should help a little bit. But FlyFF's level gaps are seriously harsh. For every level between you and your target, you're going to take more damage. So this 352 I'm taking right now, this is not how much damage they normally deal. I am taking more because I am not level 38. Secondly, you will deal less damage. So I'm hitting these for 304, and if I use my skill, which does 1200 normally, it's only hitting for 950 right now because of the level difference. If I caught up to these guys in level, I'd be dealing 1200 again. You also just hit less often. So if I'm not using my skill, this happens. Basically unkillable. But not only are the fights hard, but I'm not here for any random level 30 equipment either. Remember those green drops I mentioned in episode 1? They're pretty much the only source of stats on gear in the game, and they're much, much rarer than normal gear. So I'm going to have to murder about 10,000 of these big boys until I have myself a real set of armor. It seems like a bit much, but the Comet set is totally worth it. It'll make Leren Chasm actually clearable, and because stats on gear is so rare in this game, I might actually use that armor set literally forever. It's that strong. Or rather, the rest of FlyFF's gear is just that weak. I will go back to the Vice mobs eventually, but I'm also going to be sure to document my drops here at Dumble, so that way I can compare the two in the future. I was only 320 kills into the Dumble grind when I noticed something really bad. The penya I was earning to buy food, drinks, and keep my XP bar locked was rapidly going down with each visit to town. I'm going to get a little mathy here, but don't panic, I'll make it quick. Pulling 3 dumbbells at once cost me 6 food and 4 drinks on average. That's about 5,220 penya for 3 kills. In the 320 kills of recording drops, I found 43 pieces of equipment, totaling 341,000 penya. So, I made an average of about 8,000 penya per drop, and it took roughly 7.5 kills to get 1 drop. I simplified all this profit and loss down to a loss of 2,360 penya per 3 kills. What that didn't include, though, is the money I'd also make from selling the quest items dropped and the money I would save by using dropped food instead of only store-bought food. However, that could not completely offset the negative profits. And negative profits mean my time at Dumbles is limited. I currently can't afford to fight them forever because I'm going to run out of money and I will not be able to keep fighting. If I can't find a way to make Dumbles profitable, I'm going to be forced to find an alternate way to make penya. So I tried moving to hobos, who can also drop the Comet set, but they're pretty much just as strong but drop way less profit in penya. Please, no. No! Giggleboxes seemed okay, but they were still quite strong. Fuck. My one last hope was this extremely forgettable mob called Jack the Hammer. You may have attempted to get quest items from these guys one time, but you leveled up too quickly probably and you just skipped them. Or you were grinding to level up, so you went straight from Red Mantis to Gigglebox. Either way, you don't really see this guy too often. Jacks drop much less penya per gear, but they are the lowest level monster I can kill without facing drop rate penalties. In short, if these guys aren't profitable, nothing is. At this point, things were looking really, really bad for the future of the run. At the end of this whole route is the Clockworks fight. which requires a ton of upgrade materials. Those materials come from Leren Chasm and other daily content. To clear those, though, I'm going to need upgraded level 30 gear. And to get that, I have to fight level 38s, but you're not allowed to level up, because then you'll be disqualified from the other content. To fight level 38s, you still need better gear. You can't do it with level 30 gear. So you need the gear that drops from the level 38s, but if you only farm level 38s, it's not sustainable because you'll lose all of your penya. Ugh. FlyFF's ridiculous drop rate formulas, level up lockouts, and all other bully mechanics to make the game nearly impossible without paying money or relying on others had nearly bested me. I ended my last session super upset, and I was nearly ready to face the fact that it may simply not be possible to do this. I gave it one last try the next day.
Alright, moment of truth. Instead of doing a bunch of calculations and bullcrap, I'm just going to go ahead and AoE these guys until I run out of food, run out of drinks. I'll go back, I'll sell, and I'll see if I end up with more than 13k after I refresh everything. Oh, fuck! Dude, I found it! This is literally the shield that I wanted to get at Vice's, and it got a weapon awakening? Wow!
These are pretty rare, and that's like a really good one.
Holy crap. 5% more block. So is that additive? It sure is. Oh my god. My block rate just went up so much. It was 1% before, and now it's 6. That is huge. I'm going to take so much less damage while AoEing now. Okay, I think we got it. I'm back to 42 chickens like I started with, 100 drinks. I do still need to reload the XP bar. That's going to cost a good chunk. But money did go up. I made 6k in total, but that was with refreshing an entire XP bar lock. I think this could work. I think I can do this. Just to push the margins a little bit farther, I am going to get another suit real quick. Another rail suit. This time I'm going to make it the same, or the opposite element of the Jack the Hammers. That way I can take even less damage. I really want to push these profit margins as far as I can. Finally got it. I hate collecting this stuff. You gotta be in some really high level areas for some of these upgrades, like water upgrades. Alright, so before I start the endless grind to get penya so I can start the endless grind to get dumbbells, I want to reveal there actually is one more trick up my sleeve here I planned to use just in case these guys weren't profitable. It's actually something I've been meaning to talk about for a really long time, but just because of how things have gone, I haven't done it yet. So in your playtime tab, if you play for 40 minutes a day, you can claim rewards just for logging into the game. And there are some pretty interesting things inside of these rewards. There's too many to go over. A lot of them are junk. Some of them are really good. Some of them are really, really good. But basically, you get 4 chances a day here. I'll hit claim just to show you guys what I'm talking about. Boom, just like that. So here we have a 30-minute buff for hit rate, a 30-minute buff for crit chance, completely useless. Firecrackers, these are just for fun, they don't really do anything. Got a stone that increases your attack by 10% for a little bit. So you just get some cool stuff every day. And yeah, some of it can be junk, some of it will actually be really, really helpful. It looks like today the assortment was not very helpful, so it's not very good to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the new player reward stuff yet, but there's one more here, the Connection series. I believe these rewards are a little better. I don't actually know that for sure though, but when you spend one day playing the game, you get to claim 1 reward. Tomorrow, because that'll be the second day I've played the game, I'll have day 2 and day 1 available. I'll get 2 rewards. And when I've played for 5 days straight, I'll have 5 rewards every day. And it'll stay like that, I believe, until I break my streak. So the goal is to eventually be getting the 4 playtime rewards for 40 minutes, and then every day get another 5 rewards right here. And this one was a golden pill. It restores 2000 HP. Doesn't really mean anything right now, but you can see there's a large variety of things you can get from these playtime rewards. And not only playtime rewards are going to help me out with things like cutting down on food costs, getting my stats just a little higher even if they're only temporary stats. We also have things like event rewards. I did not get to do a lot of events so far, and I've specifically avoided doing the login rewards because I hadn't had time to talk about them yet, and I didn't just want to start accumulating a bunch of random junk in my inventory in between cuts because it would just look weird, honestly. I can't show all of my event boxes and login rewards, mostly because it's like a continuity thing. It's just really hard to edit, but if I get something really good, I'll be sure to show that. So I have a 2025 New Year Lucky Box. This is the current event going on, I believe. It dropped from a monster at some point. Everything you get from events is soul linked, so I'm not getting this stuff from other players or anything. It's not possible. But looks like there's some pretty good stuff in here. Rice cake soup box, cotton candy boxes, a bunch of different stat items, and even an XP scroll you can get from this. So maybe in opening some of these stuff, rice cake soup box, I'll be able to find some healing items? Maybe? What is going on here? Oh, these are buffs. Oh, these are buffs. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. 25 stamina. If I have this equipped, the damage I take from dumbbells goes down so much. Hey, yo, what? Okay, apparently at some point I got another Power Dice 8, and I just didn't notice. I'm cool with that. I'll probably have to dig through some footage to find when that dropped, but I can get rid of this random quest item, and hell yeah, dude. I did not expect to get a plug earring upgrade anytime soon. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not. I'm not getting an upgrade anytime soon. Alright, moving on. I still have a little more I could sell, but every time I think I'm profiting, I fill up my XP bar. Like, I've got 100 food, I've got 100 drinks, but I didn't reload, and I'm broke again. It's very slow. Like, I do profit, but it's so slow. I think... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of something. So, instead of locking the XP bar and reloading, because every 200 kills is worth 20k, if I had another 20k every time I went back to town, I would stock up Pena a lot faster. Okay, I'm back to Leren Chasm. This is what I want to be able to clear twice a day, along with the boss that I showed off earlier. I want to do this twice a day, that boss once a day. That'll give me a couple chances daily to have a good source of gear upgrade materials like power dice, cards, etc. Keep in mind, I'm fairly geared. I've already showed off what these guys do to me. At some point, I need to be able to actually run this content. Oh, hell yeah. That's a second Power Dice 8. Nice. Seriously? I got another? Holy frick. I'm gonna have 2 plug earrings plus 3 by the end of this. I'm gonna be maxed, dude. Jesus. Dang, you know what else I didn't consider? So I'm getting dice out here for jewelry upgrades, and these also drop the set I'm currently wearing, the fortune set. They even dropped the rail set. So I could actually get everything I currently am wearing, but like +2, +3, I could fit even more defense in.
Dude, I'm gonna be so stacked by the time I get back to those bulls. Well, would you look at that? Demo Earring +2 in the wild. I actually didn't know these could even drop from normal monsters. I figured this would be another flying monster thing, like the plugs. Holy cow! It's better than the ones I have from the questline. What? Is this real? What timeline where am I? Are you fucking kidding me? Is it a skill issue? Like, I swear I'm pressing all of my healing items and I'm pretty sure it's not working because I got a fucking CAPTCHA. I'm not a bot, I'm just a weirdo. Oh, no way! Oh, dude! How many does that take? Okay, so one of the things they added to FlyFF Universe for a little bit of like variety, I guess, is the ability to collect achievements and titles. This did actually exist in the original FlyFF, but there weren't many you could get. Most of them were PvP related, PK related, or I think some of them had to do with like total stats. There just weren't many variations of the titles you could get. So I've officially killed 2,000 Jack the Hammers. And these are really cool because a lot of the time you wouldn't get these achievements just from leveling up normally. Like, most people aren't going to be level 29 to 30 long enough to kill 2,000 Jack the Hammers. So it is a cool like little chase. It's a little reward you can get just for being like a completionist of sorts. And they are account-wide, it looks like. So I already did a test run for how I was going to make this YouTube series over on a different character. So it looks like I have Matador from that. That was killing a bunch of dumbbells. And now I have Jacked. That's so fucking cool. Okay, I am prepared. I'm ready. 100 food, 100 drink. I've still got roughly 300k banked up. Fill up the XP lock. Yeah, about 300k still. I got some extra defense upgrades from those power dice. Fortune helmet is +2 now, I guess. Like, oh, and the new shield too. This is probably as good as I'm gonna get. So yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna start killing the dumbbells again to farm the Comet set. But this is still gonna take a really long time. Like, this much Penya is enough to get me, I don't know, hopefully 200 more kills. I'm really not sure. It's not a lot. I'm going to have to keep going back between dumbbells and jacks. And it's just going to take forever. I have so many dumbbells I need to kill at this rate. They're going to be slow. The only redeeming qualities are the gear upgrades plus these soups from the event. These are going to help a lot. Maybe I can kill more than 3 at a time. I'm going to start stacking cotton candies as well. Just everything I can get from login rewards. Speaking of login rewards, let's see what I got today. But yeah, this next part, I knew it would take a really long time, but it's going to take so much longer than I initially thought. So I think I'm going to start streaming again. I have a Twitch account. I'm going to have that in the description. If you guys are ever curious about what it takes to kill thousands of dumbbells as a level 30, come say hi, come stop by. It's a small chat. I stay active. I talk to chat a whole lot. Come hang out. It's super chill. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on until I can get this Comet set to drop. And I'm hopefully going to have more data by then too. I'm still logging all of my drops from dumbbells. So I'll have more to say about whether or not Mars Mine really has different drop rates or not. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope to see you in stream, and I'll see you next video.